quick take on this last one. The Denver City Council approved a settlement this week for a total of $860,000 resulting from a lawsuit against 2 Denver police officers. In the 2008 excessive force incident, James D. Moore reported being hogtied and hit in the head by the officers, and eventually the charges against him were dropped. Eric, what's your quick take?
Almost speechless. I mean, this guy was a disabled vet. The cop who assaulted him had had 39 other internal affairs complaints. I continue to believe that the majority of Denver cops are honorable and doing the right thing under often tough circumstances. But whether it's this guy, Sean Moore, or Ricky Nixon, who we talked about around this table a couple weeks ago, who they fired, you know, back in 2009, but it was finally another 6 years later and a second firing to make it stick. There's got to be a way to get rid of the bad apples. This guy was a bad apple. The amount of money, whether it's between the sheriff's department and the police department, that we're paying out in either judgments or settlements is getting quite expensive, but the human toll is even greater.
Sal, your quick thoughts on this one?
Touching on that, but since 2004, between those 2 departments, sheriff and police, we've spent almost $13 million on types of cases like this. I unfortunately think this is indicative of a lot more than bad apples. I think it's indicative of something systematic. I think it's at the core of the police department, unfortunately. I think there is, it's colloquially referred to as the blue shield, but I think seeing how long this took and seeing just how many, 39 I believe you said, how many incidents have gone unspoken for or unpunished, it's unfortunate. And just like in a classroom setting, when you see someone getting away with something 39 times, you begin to lose faith in the authority of the teacher. You begin to think you can get away with those things. And that's what I equate a lot of Denver police officers to. I'm sure many of them are trying to do the right thing, but that becomes near impossible when you're faced with a system that is corrupt and somewhat unjust. And I think this is indicative of that.
Natasha, your thoughts?
One thing that's important to note is this is a 2008 incident. It's now 2015. And while there has been a massive effort recently to have a quicker closure on these type of cases, that's still way too long. That's way too long, and it says, you know, not only that people can get away with it, but they can get away with it for a long time. We need faster turnaround on these cases. We need them not to happen in the first place, and I think that starts in the academy, and that starts with the cops that we recruit to be part of our peacekeeping force.
David, wrap it up for us.
Well, the police academy does not teach people to brutalize folks. I wouldn't put any blame on them. Kudos to David Lane, who's the winning lawyer on this. We should change the title of the show to the David Lane Show, since we're seem to always talking about things, including his victory last week on the jury nullification, free speech rights of protesters. Systematically, the change we need is that the people of Denver County need to have the same right as the people in almost every other Colorado county, which is to elect their chief law enforcement officer. Make that person accountable to the public, and I think you'll get results, which we have never gotten under the current system of appointment by the mayor. The mayor's too indirect in practice for the people to be held accountable for police misconduct. John Hickenlooper never suffered an iota of political harm, despite the fact that this went on in his administration, and that was certainly not the only example of Denver police misconduct in his administration.